Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring the latest Liverpool news, transfer news, and much, much more. As you can see, I'm joined by Derek, Reese, and soon-to-be Naj in a short while to discuss what has been happening this week. Obviously, Alexander Isak and Mark GUEHI, will they happen in the next week? It's going to be a big week for Liverpool. Obviously, massive game on Monday night against Newcastle United. But following that, do we get the transfers done? Do we bring in a striker? Do we bring in a forward? Do we bring in a centre-back in Alexander Isak and Mark GUEHI? A huge week for Liverpool, a huge week. It is the last week of the transfer window, but 9 days left, I think, until the transfer window finishes. So going into the last week of the transfer window, a big week, game Monday, and then on to the transfer window after that. So yeah, boys, we're discussing what needs to be done this week, and do you think we're going to do them? That's the question. Do we get the signings in? Do we be left short? Or what? What happens this week? We're going to be talking about the other Premier League results as well. Also, Arsenal just winning 5-0. Gyökeres with a double. Man City losing earlier. Chelsea absolutely thrashing West Ham last night and much more. And also the game on Monday as well. So make sure you do, if you are in the chat right now, make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, get your comments in as well, and get involved in tonight's stream. Right, boys, who's confident about, not about the game, we'll talk about the game towards the end, but who's confident about the signings? Number one.
Boy.
Don't all shout at once here. Don't all be like too confident.
I'm still 7 out of 10 on signings. I think if GUEHI comes in, it's 8. If Isak comes in, it's 10. I said this the other day. I think we've got the depth then, I think, as well. We'd like a CDM, but it ain't going to happen. So I'd be happy with that. I think it's a 10 out of 10 window in terms of, I'd say Arsenal are probably just about leading it in terms of the personnel they've brought in terms of they've strengthened where they need to strengthen. But I would say, I'd say we've brought the better players in. If you know what I mean, like we've brought Wirtz is the best transfer this window. Like that's just a fact. But I don't know. Like maybe you're looking at I can't really sum up whether Gyökeres is better than Ekitike for. I mean, I think obviously that's what Arsenal need, but does Ekitike better for Liverpool? You know what I mean? And then, I do like I think Wirtz is the best transfer, and if we add Isak, I think that's the second best transfer, or even the first, if you like, because I think that shows up Liverpool's attack. But so 7.5 so far. I'll say 7.5 because we got Wirtz.
Derry, Isak, obviously, we've seen discussions this week. We've seen the fallout from Isak this week. He's finally come out publicly. Was it Tuesday, Monday, wasn't it? It was PFA player night. Came out publicly, basically outed Newcastle publicly. Newcastle came back, said he's lying. Friday, then Eddie Howe spoke yesterday on the press conference and spoke about the conversations that he did have with Isak. He's not revealed what the conversation is about, but to me, if he did reveal, I think it could expose Newcastle. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that just from when Eddie Howe's come out and said he's confirmed that there was a conversation alone, that's just put a spanner in the works, because off the bat, people just thought that Isak was lying. He's just tried to make things up just to get himself out of there, which a lot of players do in general anyway. They just put cause a fuss to get their move, their dream move, or whatever move that they want to make. But because Eddie Howe has come out and confirmed that he had this conversation, but then doesn't want to say what the conversation was about, it's the same thing as Isak saying that he was made promises, but he's not going to say what the promises are about. But everyone seems to want to be on his neck because he's not really pointing out the details of these promises or the conversations that he's had with these officials. So it's like everyone just wants to be against Isak because they don't like the idea of player power. Not a lot of people like it. And he was in a great position because he was told something and they lied to him. But now because the media is against him, his own club is against him, the fans are against him, it's not really kind of helping. They're just trying to prolong the situation. So when the transfer window comes to deadline, they can say they tried and nothing really happened, and then that's it. He's gonna have to stay there. So I'm not really confident anymore, as much as I was, because it just seems like they're trying not to find the right replacements because they know Liverpool doesn't. They just don't want to pay more than what they think he's worth. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky one.
And then you do. Who do you look at blaming then? Really, if it doesn't happen, who do you look at blaming? Do you look at Liverpool saying, "Are you willing to pay more than 110 million?" Really looking at it, if you want 150 million on him, 110 million is not going to do it. And do we go back for a second bid? For me, we said it the other day. Me and I said it the other day. Like, why would we wait here all this time and not go back for a second bid? Is beyond me. And then what happens after that? Because if we wait here and then don't go get him, do we then stand around and don't address that situation? Because for me, I think we still need two forwards. One's a must. The same with centre back. We need one centre back at least must. Reece, you there, mate? He's gone AWOL. He's gone AWOL. That's it. I'm releasing a statement 2 hours about your AWOLness. Right, Luis. So what happens after this? Do you think if Liverpool don't get ISAK, do we stand still? Because we have done it in the past.
I think if we don't get ISAK, we're gonna wait. So we don't get him. We get him in January. You get him in the summer. That may not be ideal for everyone, but I think it's gonna be similar to what happened with Van Dijk, because that's their particular target that they want. They're not just gonna go and get someone because we feel we need someone. If you actually look at the market, if I had to ask all of you, who would you lot go for? We couldn't get ISAK. Realistically, who would you go for? There isn't anyone of that quality, minus Alvarez. Alvarez is not leaving Atletico. Who would you go for?
That was the only person I was going to say.
Probably Alvarez and Rodrigo. Alvarez and Rodrigo is probably the only two.
Alvarez is not realistic, and Rodrigo's not a striker. So why are we going for Rodrigo to be a replacement for ISAK? Rodrigo can play across the front three, but he's not a natural striker.
Yeah, but we need another forward at least anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't mind waiting as long as someone can play there behind Ekatike, like a Rodrigo, like a Chiesa.
I think we still get ISAK. I think once the game's done, at some point during that week, we'll make a bid for ISAK. Rumors being maybe 130, and then I think Newcastle will get a strike. I can't say whether they're going to get two or not. I think they might even end up with Wissa in the end, but they're going to have to pay the 60 million after once they get the money from ISAK from Liverpool. That's what I think. And I think that Mark Gay will get done next week as well, because it sounds like Paris said he's ready to sell now. So it's only 5 million difference. So I think it kind of looks like squeaky bum time, but I think Liverpool will get both of them over the line. I think so.
I'm still leaning towards that though. Naj, what do you think? I can't see us not going back for ISAK. It make no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with what Reece just said. Like, I think after Tuesday, I think Liverpool are just going to just be like, yeah, here's 130 mil, take it or leave it, sort of thing. I think what we said the other day, and I've been saying it all week. I've been saying for the last 2 weeks. ISAK and Newcastle is beyond the point of return. He's burnt all bridges. Like they're saying, he'd be welcome back when his time's right. Like that statement is just like a bog standard statement a club would put out, wouldn't he? Like they're not going to turn around and go, "Oh yeah, we're going to just leg our like 130 million pound striker there. We're just going to leg him and just throw him in the reserves." They're not going to say that. Like, but also what fans are saying, like Geordie Josh and stuff like that. Let him rot in the reserves, and all that rubbish. Like they're not going to do that. Like they're just going to sell him because ultimately they're going to lose out more money because they're going to have a player's 130 million sat on a bench. And even if he does play again, which he won't be, even if they try and coerce him into playing again, he isn't going to want to play for them. So he's not going to be Alexander Isak. You know what I mean? I mean, and it sounds bad that he's a professional footballer and he should be playing to his contract and stuff. But, we've seen what's been said. There's quite clearly been lies in there from Newcastle side. Like, he's not going to come out and say that over no reason. Eddie Howe basically admitted that they've had the conversation. Then bridges are burned. He's done as a Newcastle player, and the only suitors are Liverpool. People have been banging on going, "Oh, Real Madrid coming from next season." It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We are dining at that table, and we are the club that can turn around and go, "Here's the 130 million, 140 million, and we're going to have your player off you right now. He wants to come to us. You have got to stay in the matter, but you take it or leave it now. We come back in January and we offer you 90 million." And I think that's what will happen. They're going to lose best part of 50 million for just if they do keep him. But I think you know, the sort of the PIF, I don't know how much they have involvement in it, but they're going to step in at some point and go like, look, you know, let's just sell him. Like it opens Newcastle up for 300 million. By the way, if they sell Isak, they literally they can buy like 6 or 7 players, like decent players as well. You know, by just selling Isak, 300 million. We're going to be spending 300 million this window. Look at the quality we brought in. Like, I'm not going to say that Newcastle can't attract that quality, but still they can throw money at players and get them in. You know, exactly what United do right now. And I just think it makes sense for. I mean, Isak said makes sense for all parties, isn't it? Well, along them lines.
In the statement as well, they sort of covered all doors, didn't they? Really, they ensured that they tried to make obviously Isak look like the liar, ensured that they look good on their part, but also still saying like, oh, but you are welcome back, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't go through, is the wrong striker. So the best thing for them is to sort of welcome back. They try to cover every base, a bit like what journalists do a little bit, make sure they get right in the end. And they know with 9 days left, there's a very strong possibility, like Derry say now, he's starting to think now that it might not happen. That could be the case. But for me, if Emperor's New Clothes says here, last offer, 125 million, move on, I think we do have to move on for me. I think we not move on like we'll go get him again next summer.
Yeah.
I'm not a striker, Reece, not a striker, but a forward that can certainly play there. We need 2 forwards at least right now. We need 2 forwards. One is a non-negotiable.
Oh, if you look at it, Liverpool have been targeting Isak. This is not new. I think Liverpool's had Isak on their radar for a number of years. So I don't see. Obviously, we would like to get him this summer. And I still think we will, but because Newcastle have been difficult because they haven't covered themselves, without having a proper director of football and being rejected left, right, and centre for all their targets. I don't see Liverpool walking away. I still think they'll probably go and get someone for the time being, like a left, like an attacking player, but I don't think they're gonna be like, okay, we need to get someone else instead of Isak. I think they
instead of I get what you mean, not instead of Isak, but as well as Isak, but Isak can wait for a bit like it's like the Konate situation. We waited a year for Konate, we didn't replace Lovren, we went into that summer with 3 centre backs, we went into that season with 3 centre backs, 2 injury prone, and then we cried about injuries when it happened, and we weren't prepared for the season. We should have got a centre back in, then go get Konate as well the season after.
Wood says if we do get Isak, I don't see how we afford. I'm not saying we can't, but I see how we're going to afford to get Rodrigo. And I see Rodrigo more as you maybe get him as a loan. Eventually, if it goes well, then you get him at the end of that loan. Because in terms of what Rangers are asking for, I don't see. Plus a centre back as well, I don't see it. I see 2 out of the 3. So if we don't get Isak, then maybe you get the left winger and then you get GUEHI. But I don't see 3. I don't see 3 players. Unless you go for, what's his name? I forgot the one we was linked with, the one who plays for Lyon, the young left winger.
Fofana.
Yeah. But I don't see us going. I think we're looking for someone who's more proven, more elite level right now. So
yeah, that's what I heard as well. Like the quality of player that we've got to bring in has got to be like a 60, 70 million winger. But that kid is a pretty special kid, to be honest. He's not really a mediocre type of winger. He's actually quite decent, and sometimes you just got to take the risk with these type of wingers because there's no one really apart from like Rodrigo. I don't really know anyone that is worth that amount of money. So if you're not going to pay that amount of money, you might as well go for someone that's promising like Fofana. Because I don't know. Do you know anyone else that's pretty much out there apart from Elise actually maybe? But I don't think Bayern Munich would want to let go of him.
Barcola, as Keith said there.
Did you see that about Barcola yesterday on Twitter?
No.
I'm not going to drag it all up because it's like it's not good for YouTube. But go and have a little look at it. It's very very strange. Like,
okay.
But yeah, not good. I'll say that.
Right, okay. So we'll cancel that out then. Isak GUEHI Yildiz says Badger for 10 out of 10 window. I think Isak and GUEHI alone makes a 10 out of 10 window.
Yeah.
I think if we don't bring in anyone else, it's a 7 out of 10 window for me. I just think it started brilliantly. I think obviously the signings we make, it's all the same. Most of the signings, 95% of the signings we make are absolutely fantastic. It's just we'd never do enough. That's the issue. And when it feels like a different summer, when we feel like we have done enough, we've done a lot in terms of bringing players in. It's just the amount we've got rid of as well, which doesn't help, Derry, does it?
No, it don't. It kind of feels like I don't know. I was just reading something the other day, and someone said that we've gone from like a 10 out of 10 window to 5 out of 10, and it kind of feels like that because we started off. If it was the other way around, like if we started off by getting someone like, I don't know, Kirkes first, and then it went to because it was Verts before Frimpong, right? Or was it the other way around?
Frimpong.
Frimpong first.
Yeah.
And then Verts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if it was like Verts, that was the latest transfer, I feel like it kind of would be a different vibe. I don't think people will be too, even though it's like, yo, we need a defender. I think with Konate's form, if it was better and he was in a better mind space, it would be a different situation. We just don't know what he's on, and that is frustrating. Do you know what I mean? And because he's not even playing that good at the minute, in my opinion, it makes it seem like he just doesn't want to be here, and then that's what makes it tricky. And I don't understand why this whole 5 million difference is a problem. Like GUEHI is he's a bad boy. He's an absolute bad boy defender. I don't know why it's just like taken long. Every single time we have to deal with a transfer that we want, it's always like weird. It always takes a long time to just get things done, and I don't understand it. But it is what it is. I feel like, for me, in my opinion, getting ISAK is more important than GUEHI. If we ain't got another attacker, to rely on Chiesa is a bit mad to me. Gakpo is a bit mad to me. And then Ekatike's just got here. So it's kind of...
I was gonna say, I think both are important, but I think at the moment, I think GUEHI's more important than ISAK. I think if you look,
You know what's so funny, boys? You know what's so funny? Now you're saying that. No, it's so funny. I literally did a 10-minute stream earlier to go out tomorrow about the importance of these two signings. Which one's most important?
I think they're both important, but I just think based on what I saw in that first game, I think GUEHI's more important because for me, I think he goes. I think he goes straight in at the minute, based on how Konate performed in that first game. Obviously, we don't know how he's going to perform against Newcastle, but I just see it as he's going to go straight. We look too open, like on the transition, on the counter. Obviously, you can't put that all down to him, but he looked very shaky. He looked like he won't really focus on that game. Don't get me wrong, I do think we need another attacker, but I just think defensively was the issue. Whereas you saw attacking wise, attack wasn't really our problem in that game. We know we get loads of goals. If anything, it's more we don't want to be having games where we're conceding. I don't want to be in high scoring games. And obviously, people who are neutrals are going to be like, "Oh, that was a great game. It's entertaining." I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't want entertaining games. Don't get me wrong. I want us to play nice football, but I'm happy to take a 2-1 or 1-0. I'm happy to take. I don't want to be in games where we're winning 2-0 and then within 10 minutes it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Like, we've kind of had that in the past. I don't like all that kind of stuff. It makes me uneasy. I want to know that Liverpool's winning 2-0 or 3-0. I know I don't have to necessarily watch the rest of the game if I need to go out and do something. The game's set. I don't want to feel like I have to stay there because I know Liverpool, if they can see the goal, then you know what I mean? It's panic station.
I heard that. But saying that, those two, when you say 2-0 and then we go back to 2-2, that's happened twice.
Yeah.
And those two times that happened were all Slot's decisions. I'm not going to say, because now he's explained it, and obviously Frimpong's now injured from that scenario and stuff like that. But bringing on Endo is one of the decisions he made, and that decision there, it almost caused us the game. Well, one of them it caused us the game, and the other one it almost did.
I hear you. I think the main reason was not having Gravenberch. That's what I think the reason was.
That's true.
But the only problem we have is that it shouldn't take for us to lose one player for the whole system to kind of like disappear. that's why we should have really this summer. We should have really got another 6. Obviously, it looks like we probably will try and address that next season. Liverpool maybe looking at like an Adam Wharton or something like that. But we should have really addressed that this year. As much as I'm over the moon with most of the signings, I still think that we should have really just addressed that. Because if he gets injured now, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see Liverpool kind of more exposed. It's kind of more of a 50-50 game, which is not really ideal.
It's not even just the injury either, is it, Reece? Because last season he dropped off massively second half of the season.
That as well.
Yeah. And we can't have that happen again.
That could have been because we was already kind of just
overplayed him. Yeah.
But we had already won the league, kind of like it was kind of you know what I mean. So
mixture.
The morale could be done, and he's just in party mode. We've won the league. It's all done. So you can't really judge his performances on that side of things because it was kind of already done and dusted. But when it was really time to get to work, Gravenberch was the main man, and without him, it would have been a very peak season. But it's true, not having him there is showing how exposed we are in the midfield. If it can be done and we get a 6 that can just fill in the gap for the bit, because Endo is not it. It's not that guy. We can't keep bringing Endo in to come and do something, and then the whole game changes, and then it's 2-2. Konate, like you said, for me, he's a nervous character, and when you're like that, you spread that energy around the team, and I feel like it. Do you know what? We've got Leone, yeah. We've just bought Leone, and I feel like it's just gone under the radar. I feel like the kid is good enough to go straight in. I feel like he's just as good as Konate or even better. He's comfortable on the ball. I've seen what he can do when he's on the ball and off the ball. He's got strength. He's got pace. He understands the game. Being 18 ain't a thing. Arsenal brought in a 15-year-old and he got a penalty and they just won 5-0. Like, it's nothing. If you can play football, you can play football. Do you get what I'm saying?
Is that Leone one's interesting though, because we're going to speak about the game later on. I've got a good idea for Monday. If we were to change formation for Monday, I've got a good idea to go about it. So it goes back to my idea before the season, just in case we do change formation. I don't know if we will, but in case we do, yeah, because we ain't got a proper right back, have we? So I'll go through it later on. My idea, Saka and Odegaard linked off again could. Possibly missing the Liverpool game. I want to say good news. I don't ever wish injuries on anyone, especially Saka deserves better than what he's got. Obviously, if they miss the Liverpool game, it is like an advantage to Liverpool away. But I don't want to ever say it's good news for me personally because I don't like injuries, especially recurring injuries. I don't think it's fair on people's career. Saka's a very good player, and it's a shame that he is. If it is a poor injury, then I don't like that for me personally. But yeah, this week, talk about, like I said, I did that 10-minute stream earlier. It's going to go out tomorrow, that GUEHI or ISAK, who is more important this week. And obviously, someone said here, come on, Reece, ISAK is more important. I actually said GUEHI is more important in the end. I did actually say GUEHI is more important because right now, if you're looking at Liverpool right now, we have no worries about scoring goals. I think we definitely need another forward, and we've got Konate there as well at centre-back. But in terms of what we're seeing right now, what's up with Liverpool, and that's defensively. That's what we need to shut up, really. Forward, in terms of scoring, we've got 6 goals in the last 2 games, in the games that we've played. But we've conceded 4, which is massive. Absolutely massive. And you cannot concede 4 in 2 games. That's just ridiculous. And that 2-0 up to go 2-2, that can't keep happening. We need to start being a bit more... I think it's a lot about system as well. I mean, I don't like this whole... The left back comes inside and becomes that sort of extra centre back because playing centre centrally to a wing position or a wide position is completely different as a defender. I'd rather Gravenberch be at DM and drop back into a back three rather than a left back come across. Yeah, it's a different position. It's a different playing centrally is completely different to playing wide. Anyone that picks that, anyone that played football will know that. David, who is your vice captain? My vice captain for FPL, it was actually Cole Palmer. But my captain's Gyökeres though, so Yeah. Odegaard means out. It means Eze in. I'd rather Odegaard than Eze. Well, yeah, exactly. Eze's Eze now. So yeah, that's a fantastic sign for them, by the way. Yeah, GUEHI though, Derry.
Yeah.
What do you think the money's going to be for GUEHI when we get him in? I'll say 35 million we want to offer. They want 45 million. Do you think they're actually going to agree on 40 million?
I think it will be about 37.
That's a bit specific. 37.67, yeah?
Yeah, 37.5. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel like we'll just pay the money that they're asking for, man. But it will obviously somehow add up to what they're asking for, because we need to get him. We need to get him. If he somehow ends up going to somewhere like Manchester United or I don't know, Tottenham or something like that. Even though they've said that he's rejected them and all of this stuff. If somehow he just sees that these guys are playing good and they look like they've got something popping, and he just decides, all right, cool. If Liverpool don't want me enough, I'm gonna go to a team where they do. I'm gonna be pissed, because this guy is just ready to go. He's proven he's a Premier League. He's one of the best Premier League defenders in that's played, and I don't understand why you wouldn't just pay the money long time ago. Get him into the team so he can start playing the way we like to play. Why would you make it so long that you have to just? I don't know. People may say, yeah, he can go straight into the team, but Konate might start playing good again. He might just decide, oh yeah, I'm going to sign this deal, and then he plays good for 3 or 4 games, and then when it's the most important game that we need Konate to play, he fucks up, and then we start going in a downward spiral. I don't like things like that. You just get him in while he's confident, and let's move along. We ain't got time to be dropping points. Do you know what I mean? So
we waited. Remember, we messed around with Lavia. Chelsea came in, got him straight away. They paid the money and got him. We can't happen that. Like I said, there's other teams that are coming. Newcastle wanted him. Don't say Newcastle come in and get him. That will piss me off. That will piss me off. But yeah, like I said, Tottenham are looking good right now. Good win earlier, good win last week. So they've started well. If a Man United comes in, I know I'll say if we come in and Man United come in, then we're going to beat Man United to it. But we can't, if we don't pay the money, at the end of the day, Crystal Palace sell to whoever pays the money. And if he's open to that move, he might not be open to the move. We don't know yet.
Well, he wants to
if
get
someone
out.
Else comes in, if someone else comes in and pays the money and says, GUEHI, well, Liverpool are pissing around here. They clearly don't want me as bad as they say they do. A bit like Lavia did, and he accepted it. He accepted the Chelsea one. I hope that doesn't happen to GUEHI. But I'm surprised no one else has made the approach for GUEHI, to be honest. GUEHI only wants Liverpool. Could I wait until January? Grab on the cheap, said Keith. But he does only want Liverpool. However, no one else has really gone in for him. So if someone else were to bid for him, then it might not open his eyes, but it might, just move a little bit in terms of what. So I'm going to bring Badra. You've put your team selection out for Monday. I've just started that, so I'm going to bring that up when we do talk about the game, because what you've said, I sort of slightly agree with. I know we can wait, but Gomez being injury prone, it won't hurt to have an extra body in now. Also can rest VVD some games. I think also Leone being in, that's a brilliant signing last week we got. But again, Konate, like Derry said, is looking a bit iffy at times, and he's very prone to mistakes, and I do think he suits Arne Slot even more in terms of the playing at the back. Leeds are I feel rattled hate Arsenal because I don't know why everyone hates Arsenal. I've not got really a rival with Arsenal. Some Arsenal fans, go too far, but I don't with that.
I don't think the hate is for Arsenal. I think it's more Arteta.
It says there, look, my hate for Arsenal is consuming me.
I hate still. I don't. If you ask them specifically, I doubt it's Arsenal specifically. It's probably more Arteta, because he ain't really done that way. Their fans go on about him. It's like he's the Messiah, and you can't say nothing about him.
To be fair, though, there's fans like in every fan base. You know that.
It's just something about the water in Arsenal, bro. I can't stand the Arsenal fans. I'm telling you, it's
not
really pisses me off.
It's just some. It's not all of them.
To be fair, you guys are from London, so you probably have to experience.
Bro, the fans
there are logical ones that make sense that you can have a conversation with. But bear in mind, the ones that are deluded, I understand why they're deluded, bro. They've been through a lot of pain. They ain't won the league
It's
in how long?
copism. You think it's copism?
You got a good heart, boy.
Imagine supporting a big club who's never won the Champions League. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I mean, so
Facts. Facts.
So,
You know-
Naj, go on, mate.
GUEHI, Canate, if it does happen, you've got to think both of them players are going to be playing their socks off because World Cup year. I think that'd be a really good sort of battle. Who's going to get in? Because obviously all the players this season want to get in the World Cup squad. So, I mean, obviously, the obvious players are like sort of. I mean, I don't say they don't have to play well; they're just good anyway. Like Alisson, Van Dijk, they're obviously going to be in. But I mean, like players like Canate, like he sort of get Deschamps drops him, doesn't he? Sometimes for Upamecano or Saliba or Hernandez. I think that if I was going to say someone else, I forgot. Luke Haber's come through, hasn't he, into the French squad now? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, so like Canate's almost battling out for like 4 people, whereas like GUEHI's sort of in the same boat, really. But I think GUEHI's obviously the best English centre back. Like, I mean, he definitely was last tournament. But again, still, there's obviously players that have come through for England, like the last couple of years at centre back. So I think it'd be a really good competition to have them two in general. Like we sort of had last season of Diaz and Gakpo sort of had that competition, healthy competition. I think that's something we can really like look towards if we do sign them. I think that's like I love competition within a football club. Like we've had that a lot at Liverpool, and I think that makes the team better. Healthy competition makes a team better because like we actually said last season, the reason why we sold Kwanzaa is because if Canate had a stinker, he still knew he was going to play. Like because he's not going to play Kwanzaa is like. What can you do? So, getting GUEHI almost eliminates that from Canate's head. It's like, I've got to play good every game now. I can't have a stinker. I've got to play good. I've got to have concentration. I can't, it's like, it just creates that like winning mentality, I think, but a bit better. It happens at all big clubs.
And it quite happened to us a few years ago, didn't we, in midfield? We had Anderson, we had Fabinho, we had Wijnaldum. Behind that, we had either injury-prone players or players that weren't good enough. And they were looking behind themselves thinking, yeah, we're playing next week. So it didn't matter. And that's we can't have that. We can't have people looking behind the backs and saying, I'm playing next week. We need people on the toes. We need competition to be high. And like you said, it did work with Gakpo Diaz last season. They both had the moments. They both, obviously Gakpo had more moments, I'd say, as a whole season. But they both had the moments where they were fantastic and the other one was dropped off. And that's what you want. And it's same. This is why Slot continues to talk about 2 players in each position. This is what he wants: 2 players in each position because he don't want any drop-offs. You're going to get drop-offs because, for example, if Salah on the right, you drop him someone else, it's going to be a drop-off. Say Van Dijk, Leon is behind him. It's a drop-off. No offense to Leon, it's a drop-off, but it's it's okay as a drop-off. It's not. Oh, last resort, we've got Endo at centre back. Derry wants Endo right back on Monday, I heard, anyway.
Say that again.
I said you want Endo right back on Monday, I heard.
Hell no.
You know what's mad, though? Minus Endo at right back, I wouldn't say you can't not have Endo. I think at right back's a no-go, at centre back, yeah, but for him to come on and see out games, and if you had him as like the 3rd choice for the like Gravenberch, that's fine. Right back, yeah, that's a no-go. But you saw last season when Slot use him, he was fine. He was fine. You need a player like that, Derry. You need a player like that. You need a player that's
can't have Endo on the field anymore, bro.
Why not? You've had worse players than Endo on the field. Liverpool's
that's true. That's true. And I couldn't handle it, bro.
Nah, man.
Endo is still I can't, bro.
But there was
with all the respect to Endo, yeah.
No, man. He's here. He's here to stay. So you just got to get on board, mate. He's not going anywhere. He's here.
He is
he's
dead.
He's not dead. He's not dead. But you got to bear in mind there was multiple games where he came on and we saw out the game last season, which helped. Let me finish. Which helped contribute to win us the league. It's true. He came on bare games and saw out the game.
Bro, that's not true, man.
Don't tell me he
Look,
played his part.
listen,
He played his
listen.
part. Everyone played
This
their
is
part last season, and Endo was
okay.
important. Whether it was a bit part or not, he played his part. He played his part towards us winning the league.
Just a little bit.
A
Just a
little
little
bit
bit.
better than nothing. It's still a contribution. It's something.
It's fair. It's fair to say that. Okay, he's contributed and it's helped us. You know, I'm not gonna say it helped us win games. It helped us see out moments of the game. That's fine, but really and truly, the games were kind of dead and done, dead and dusted. The other teams weren't trying to get back into the game, and then Endo came in and then completely shut it off. No, that's not what happened at all. The games were already done. Endo came to just reassure that this thing was about to end
You
the
need
way
players
it is.
like that. You need
Huh?
players that are willing to play in any position, that are willing to run through brick walls. There's certain players that when they play at Liverpool, you can see physically they're not about it. They jump out of certain tackles. That they're about it when it's a nice game of football. When it's a physical game, they don't want none of it. They go into hiding, and a lot of them, their ceiling may be way higher than Endo's. But I like players that they wear their heart on their sleeve. They're not scared to go into a tackle.
Yeah, facts.
They're going to be committed to the cause. You know what I mean? You had players like that. You had Milner, who was like that towards the end. We kept hold of for how long? You need certain guys that are kind of around that can kind of see out games.
That's true.
Of experience. And
to be fair, though, Milner has actually got a bit of technique.
Milner had techers, bro.
Not anymore. And the last couple of years at Liverpool, he didn't have no techers. He was just there as the experience man. He didn't have no techers. Come on.
He had more than Endo, bro.
Huh?
he gave more than Endo until the end of his
Endo's offering more than Robinson, but Robinson's still here. So let's not.
What's that
point?
What's the fella from? What's the fella that used to play for United? The Scottish lad. Is it Ferguson?
McTominay.
Oh, back in the day.
Scottish one for United.
Oh,
what's his name now?
Scottish. It's not. No, Luke
Darren Fletcher.
Fletcher. That's
Fletcher. Nah, Fletcher was actually decent.
No, but
he's actually decent.
Come on,
what's decent stuff? Endo's the same way. Decent. Decent is average. Okay, that's what these guys are.
Fletcher was actually decent, bro.
Like that.
He used
I don't think Endo's better than Fletcher though.
No, he's not. But
I don't think Endo's
no,
better
he's not.
than
But
Fletcher.
that's exactly what Fletcher used to do. Fletcher used to come on at the end of games when Carrick was tired or when whoever was tired in midfield. Fletcher used to come on and see the game out for United, and that's why
That's a fact.
So that's what
Fletcher's level. Fletcher's quality was completely different.
It's not night and day. It's not night and day. It's really not.
What?
It's not, man. It's not.
They do the same job.
Fletcher and Endo, bro.
You lot are forgetting, because United were winning so much there. A lot of men just think every player in their team was elite. There was a lot of average guys that came on that did a job. They understood their role. The reason why
this is what I'm saying.
This is why Endo's there. Fletcher ain't no elite player. If he's elite, where did he go? Where did he go after United? Where did he go? Why did no big club?
He wasn't elite. He weren't even close to being elite. Right, but he's far better than Endo.
He's not far better.
Far better than Endo.
Because he won multiple things at United. People's heads kind of a bit clouded and think he's better than what he is.
We were winning games. That's why people don't see Endo for who he is, bro.
No, I do. He's a basic player. But the same as Fletcher, when these guys come in, they're going to do a job. They know how to do the basics well. They ain't got no outstanding trait. Tell me an outstanding trait that Fletcher had that was elite, that made him so better than Endo.
He was a workhorse. He was box to box before. No.
That's what Endo is.
What?
On the head. They're workhorse.
Endo is a workhorse.
You see players who ain't got elite talent or elite attributes. That's what you call them. They're basic. They do the basics well. They run.
Come on, man.
That's what they do.
Let's not do that to the word workhorse. Just because.
True, man.
Wait, hold on. He just does not. Yeah, I don't rate Endo. I really don't rate Endo. that is the truth. I don't rate Endo. But anyway, what I'm saying is that the difference between him and Fletcher could pass the ball. Fletcher could read the game. And Endo can do that.
Hey, he got an assist last week. Leave him out of it, Endo. He got an assist last week.
He did.
Can you put Tony Still's comment up? That one's funny.
I mean,
what was that?
This is a good thing about
Endo.
That one. Read that, Derry. Read that one. Take that in. Take that in.
Endo last week, though, I'll say it. As soon as Endo went right back to CDM, he was fine. You know what I mean? But as soon as he went from right back to CDM, Endo was fine. But that's Endo's job. He comes on as a CDM and he just covers that back line. You know, a standout game for him last season was the Wolves game. We played rubbish. We was terrible towards the end of the season. We was terrible that game. Cunha scored from outside the box. We brought Endo on and he was just like throwing his head into tackles and stuff like that. And he shut the shop. And that's what... It's good, you know. Someone said in the comments then it's good to have someone that sits on the bench and comes on and puts every single effort in, and I can't fault anything for like that. And that's what I think, you know, Reece. That's what Reece is trying to say. That's what I like about him. Yeah, he's not.
Don't get me wrong. In terms of ability, do I rate Endo like that? Hell no. Is Endo someone I would go out my way to buy? No, but it's important to have players like because he understands his role.
Yeah.
He knows he's not going to play it all the time, but when he does play, whatever position he does get put into, he's going to give 100%.
It's true. That's the only thing I respect about Endo is his mindset. Everything else is tricky because I think he's slow on the ball. He's slow mentally. Like what to do with the ball next. He has no idea. That's how it looks to me when I'm watching. As soon as
he's not
like you see how Thiago, yeah. I'm not going to compare him to Thiago. I'm not going to compare him to Thiago. I'm just saying, when Thiago drops in to collect the ball, Endo does the same thing because that's what he's supposed to do as a DM. But when he goes to collect that ball, I'm already looking at the situation. That's gonna happen.
As in, what's he gonna do next? But he's not that kind of player. He doesn't have that skill. Thiago to be like,
you are a DM. Huh? You're supposed to have that. Yes, you're collecting the ball from the from in between the two defenders. If you're coming deep, you're gonna be thinking, "What's going on behind me?" McAllister played there for a little bit and quickly learned that you can't play there and not check your shoulders, bro, or not check your windows. And he's not doing that every single time.
McAllister,
I don't think every DM has to have that.
That's what I was going to say.
The best DM have that. I don't think. No, listen to me. Listen out for me. If we've got 2 8s that are technically good that can do that, I don't think we need a 6 that can do that. As long as if that 6 makes up for it in work rate and gets the tackles and interceptions and things like that. But what I do worry about Endo is it's quite rash and he gives fouls away in the wrong place of the pitch. In moments that you don't need. And I think McAllister's quite like that as well.
I think McAllister does that when he's like not played for a while. He needs games. Yeah. But McAllister's IQ on when to nick the ball is quite impressive. Huh?
I said I'm hearing excuses being made for McAllister's mistakes, but there's no excuses being made.
Come on, man. For me, yeah, at the beginning, I weren't sure about McAllister. I was always on McAllister's case. But gradually, he showed that, okay, he just needed some time to get used to the way we play. And this same situation has happened again, where he's not played since the ending of last season, and he just needs to catch up a bit because the way he reads the game and picks the ball off players is like one of the best. But when he's not on his game, this guy will just cause free kick after free kick after free kick and get yellow after yellow after yellow. And I feel like it's just his rhythm. He just needs to get into the game and then he'll be fine. But Endo just doesn't have that. And I feel like when I said as a DM you need to have the understanding of when you need to pick up the ball, it's just because of the way we play. Every DM comes in to get the ball and then goes off or comes in, lays it back, or needs to know what's happening behind him. And he just doesn't have that idea at all.
I think with Endo, you got to remember he's more of a slot. He's more of a clock player, so he's more of a non-nonsense 6. He's not so he's not thinking 2 or 3 games, 2 or 3 stages ahead. He's more thinking, "Oh, dude," he's more like a stopper, and then probably get the ball, lay off, do the simple passes or some through ball. If he does happen to do that, he probably didn't mean to do that deliberately. He probably, luckily, got that.
He's kicked it.
That's why. You think about why Klopp signed him. He's more of that kind of player. I think the only reason Slot has kind of kept him is because he understands his role. He knows he's not going to play all the time, and he's willing to do a season. He weren't really playing him loads, but
And he likes keeping players happy, doesn't he?
True,
Slot.
but
And that's one person that's always going to be happy.
you can't keep saying you need quality to play for Liverpool, and then when we're winning 2-0, you bring on Endo. That don't make no sense, bruv. If
I'm honest, right? If I'm honest, though, Derek, if I'm honest, last season Endo offered more than us than Curtis Jones did.
Say that again.
Endo offered more last season than Curtis Jones.
That's not true.
Curtis
That's
Jones
not
is meant
true.
to be a better player.
That's not true.
It's true.
That's not true. I don't even rate Curtis Jones. I don't even rate Curtis Jones.
The time Curtis Jones
did a big part of that game.
Oh, he's procrastinating.
I agree. I don't even rate him. But
he'll go past 1 or 2 man, great, and then after that, release the ball. Not releasing the ball, just going round and round.
Facts. I agree, but he's contributed in so many games last season where it's like, raw. And I'm sure everyone has said this. What do you know? What? Yeah, Curtis Jones played kind of good today. You know, I know every Liverpool supporter has said that at least a few times.
But you know what the problem is? He never follows it up. This I'm saying. He'll have 1 or 2 good games, and then he gets in his head, and he thinks he's greater than what he is, and then he goes back to the lackluster. It's like, what are you doing? This is what it's been like for his whole career. This is what it's been like. Why is he not pushed on?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
He's got bags of talent.
That's what's more frustrating about it. But I think he thinks he's better than what he is. That's the problem. Whereas do the simple things. Do the simple things well. We know you're talented, but do the simple things. The lay it off, the simple passes. Make up your mind. For me as a midfielder, you got to be able to make up your mind when it comes to the final decision in terms of what you're going to do next. You can't kind of wing it and then make up your mind at the last minute because someone's going to take the ball off you.
But I prefer to play him there at that right wing back position.
Yeah, that's fine because he's more athletic. But in the DM, I'd rather Endo than Curtis Jones in the DM. I'd rather Endo than Curtis Jones.
You see, the thing is, yeah, I would only agree with you with this, yeah, if Endo had just had the sense to just not try to do anything else apart from just play it first time back to the defender when he gives it to you, because he makes that run, he makes that movement to collect it deep, and only thing that's going to happen is he gets tackled because he's too slow, and you don't want that against a team like Newcastle. So it's either Endo plays there or McAllister plays there.
What's that in the 6?
Yeah, bro. We can't have Endo playing there, bro.
No, and are you talking about in terms of Monday's game?
Monday, yeah.
I'm sure Gravenberch is available, no?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, I forgot about that still.
It's just right.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. When Endo gets announced as 6 on Monday,
Bro,
I'll go check on Derek.
Instant heart attack, bro.
I just say though, if Gravenberch comes off, when he gets a bit tired, Gravenberch comes off, all these fans turning around going, "Oh yeah, we're gonna snap all your players." Listen, Endo comes and he snaps all.
This is what I'm trying to say. When it comes to that physical kind of game, Derry, you're telling me you'd rather Curtis Jones in the 6 or McAllister physically. When Endo's not, he's not going to let someone just go past him. He's going to go through them.
He might get a red card, bruv.
That's all right. That means it stops Newcastle from scoring and you take out one of their players. You got to do what you got to do. Don't just let the guy go past.
We are Liverpool, bruv. We don't do things the easy way. Do we really want to be having another red card at St. James's Park?
No, what I'm saying is if you look at the games we had against Newcastle, especially the one in the League Cup, the reason we lost that game was the midfield because we got bullied. Because our midfield are pretty on the ball, but physically they're not really offering much. Apart from Szoboszlai, he's the only one who's offering off the ball. But McAllister and Gravenberch weren't really offering much. They got bullied. You have an Endo there. He may not have the quality in terms of going forward and whatnot, but he's not going to be someone who's going to get bullied. He's not going to go down without a fight. Whereas the rest of them, minus Szoboszlai, they don't have that physical presence, that physical attribute. Gravenberch is 6 foot plus. He doesn't have that physicality. He's pretty on the ball. When it gets physical, his strength is athleticism. And McAllister, he lacks athleticism. His strength is his footballing brain. He's tenacious and he goes into tackles, but you see a lot of the time McAllister, he will get bullied. He's out of his depth because he's not meant to be a 6. He's meant to be one who's further forward.
True.
And And that transitions nicely on to this, because of what we're going to talk about the starting lineup. And what Badger said here is an idea that I did have as well. If we are going to play 4-2-3-1 and Gomez is fit, I said, for me, in my opinion, for this game alone, I'd drop Wirtz.
I agree.
For those legs in midfield, because last week when Wirtz played Bournemouth, he got bullied off the ball quite easily. And this isn't Bournemouth now. This is Newcastle midfield. These all three are physical
I don't
players.
even think that matters, about the Bournemouth. Forget Bournemouth. I feel like a lot of players didn't do their thing against Bournemouth. I feel like it's just the chemistry thing, and just knowing what you're about to get when you go to St. James's Park. If you stick with an 11 that's already played there, and they understand what it's like to play at that stadium, and then bring on Wirtz, I feel like we're in a better position to win that game. Even though I rate Wirtz, I think he is he's up there. He could start and just do a madness in the first half because of his positioning. They don't know where he is. They won't know where he's playing. He's got freedom to move wherever he wants. And I feel like his understanding with Ekitike is what makes Ekitike the player he is right now. So that could work in our favour, having Wirtz. But then the other side of it is the fact that it's just Monday night versus Newcastle, and they're vexed, and it could be a very physical game that Wirtz might not be able to handle.
And the other idea I did have, which I'm going to run through you guys, I don't know what you think about it. I did talk about 3-4-3 at the beginning of the season. Potentially, if GUEHI comes in, we could actually use that in certain games and certain situations. Now, we ain't got GUEHI, but we have got Leone. If we put Leone, Van Dijk, Darius agreeing, but Nigel didn't agree. Leone, Van Dijk, and Konate is a back three.
Yes.
Then I'd put Szoboszlai on the right, and I'd put Kirkers on the left, with Gravenberch and McAllister in the middle.
Yes.
Then I'd have Wirtz and Salah as 2 10s behind Ekitike.
Yes.
So you lot want to go more defensive? That's what it kind of sounds like to me.
I
would no. That's just an option. I'd still go 4-2-3-1.
It's
still go 4-2-3-1 on my original thing.
That's just stable. It's not defensive.
Why do you need? What are you being stable for? It's Newcastle.
Yeah,
they're a good team, but we're meant to be the great Liverpool, no?
It's not really. Stable.
Listen.
Attacking.
You don't just go into fights. You don't just go into fights as if oh yeah, I'm the greatest fighter of all time. So
no, but what I'm saying is, if you kind of show fear and you play in a way,
I don't think it's showing fear. I just think it's working around Newcastle in a different way that they're not expected to.
We've lost players.
So all right, my thing would be for you lot then, if you say that, then who's going to be the creator instead of Wirtz?
I didn't say. I said Wirtz and Salah behind Ekitike as 2 10s.
Well, if we're being realistic, we know Slot's not going to change. It's no back three and then a back five. So he's going to
never know, bro.
Why not? Slot likes changing.
He's not going to make all those changes just for Newcastle. He's never had no reason to.
It's not that much of a change. It's only changed a little bit because of no right back.
And another thing he said was in his press conference was that this 18-year-old kid has come in to the club, and it feels like he's been here long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't feel like he said that because it's just to say it. I feel like he's
saying it for a reason. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it could be that he's trying to just let people know there's a possibility that he could just go in there.
I hear what you lot are saying about Wirtz, but you got to remember it's one game. So for me, for him to get more used to our system, he needs to play. You don't drop him out.
In the 3-4-3 players, him and Salah
but say he had a great game against Bournemouth, we wouldn't be talking now about thinking, let's take Wirtz.
I don't even think he was dead. I don't think he had a dead.
I don't think he was bad. No, I don't think
he was bad. I think
specifically for this game, in terms of physicality, is what I'm looking at.
I think what he was lacking was the end product. He just didn't release the ball quick enough. He popped up in nice little spaces. His link up play with Ekitike was very impressive because he kept putting him in. It's more about he was dilly-dallying on the ball a bit too long. And I think maybe he might realize after that game that you're not going to get all that time like maybe in the Bundesliga, because that's when he's going to get pickpocketed. It depends what Slot goes for, because I see it as if he doesn't, I have a funny feeling he puts Szoboszlai in the 10. And for me, that's a mistake.
Mm.
I categorically hate 3 backs and 5 backs, so that's why I'm shaking my head. I can't stand them. I think they're shite. I'll be honest with you. But you know, I think what I've been like very on like play Gomez. He's very good at fullback positions, and he's very big and he's physical and he's like that. He's quick as well. And I said like obviously he's had his injuries, but he does a good job. Like I was trying to make the point of. But like you know, it makes no sense for Liverpool to play 3 at the back against this Newcastle team because they haven't got ISAK, and that is the main threat. I know Anthony Gordon always has good games against Liverpool, but he's going to be playing up front. They're not going to play a Schuler against Van Dijk and Canate. They're going to have Harvey Barnes up against Gomez, and then they're going to have Kirkus up against Elanga. So them 3 players, you know, that could be starting like Gordon up front, Barnes on the left, and Elanga on the right. We don't really need a 3 at the back for that. We just need the pacey wing backs that we've got. You know what I mean? That they just need to, you know, we obviously need to, in times, you know, Gakpo needs to fill in, and I think having Gravenberch in the middle is going to help a lot for that cover on the side for Gomez. But you know, Gomez is naturally a better defender than Frimpong anyway, so I don't have any issues with him playing there. I get what you're sort of saying with Leone coming in, but I've always been on sort of this is what we're going to continue to play this way. We're not going to change it. We won the league last season. Why would we do that? I know we played 2-10 against City, but that was warranted at that time. So I think like, you know, it's the second game of the season. I don't think we need to do that. I think, you know, we did concede last week 2 goals. We did concede the week before 2 goals. We didn't have Gravenberch last week. You know, I felt like the Palace went to sleep. You know, I think that's why we ultimately conceded them goals. But, you know, against Newcastle, I don't think we need to do that. I just think we just play with the team that we have. I think Wirtz might get dropped, though. I do think that might happen. It's nothing to do with him getting bullied as such against Bournemouth. Like, you know, he's come to a new league. He looked good to me. He was playing good balls out wide. He was getting in good positions, stuff like that. Turns, brilliant as well. You know, if we do go with Szoboszlai, I don't think it's like the worst idea to start with. But like Reece said, I'd still probably want Wirtz in there just to get used to these games. You know, you're going to be playing teams who are horrible like this. You want to play against these players. You want to get used to it and stuff like that. You know, and if someone's trying to foul you and stuff like that, which, you know, I don't, by the way, I'm not buying into the fact that Newcastle players are going to be doing that because Liverpool put a bid in for a player. It's absolutely idiotic. Like, you know, it's the hard man syndrome. Like, oh, we're going to bat your players. You know, they're not going to do that. But you play Wirtz in that game, you know, they're probably going to be a bit upset about ISAK. But you play Wirtz in that game, like they've not got a striker up front. You play Wirtz in that game, there's going to be so much room for him. Like, I just think if they double up on Wirtz, they can't double up on Salah. If they can't double up on Salah, they got to, you know, it makes sense to play him. I think the creativity in that game, you know, it's got to be looked at. And let's face it, Newcastle haven't got the best keepers in the world at the minute. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not the best. It's a very unsettled team. I think Liverpool just go for the juggler and just go in, play the usual way, and I think we'll win. I'm confident about winning actually. Like, I really am, because I think not having ISAK is like the most, like, that is Newcastle at the minute. Like, they play through ISAK. That's how they won last season. That's how they got into top 5 last season. That's how they got Champions League. That's how they won the Carabao Cup. They haven't got that. They're there for the taking in a way. Not for the taking, but they're there to beat. That's all I'm going to say.
I think, let me one thing clear though. The 3-4-3 only came into my head for if there's no right back fit.
Okay.
Because Gomez, we don't know about that at the moment. Guali's just come back from training. If none of them are actually physically fit for the game, then that's when I'd look at 3-4-3. Only for that. Because I don't want, you know, and that's why I'd say Szoboszlai on the right mid and Kirkus on the left mid, because they both can get back and forth anyway. But other than that, yeah, I'm happy with Gomez at right back, Konate, and so on. And again, I'm happy with Wirtz in the middle, if he's Wirtz in the middle, but I'm also happy with the other 3 in the middle. It makes sense to do that. Badger said, David, you go to Newcastle. I wish I was, mate. I wish I was, but now you said that, I am doing a watch along on here for the first time. So yeah, make sure you tune into that. If you can get Sky Sports on in the background and get me on here in the foreground. If Joe scores, I'll try tears, Joy. Go on then, mate. What's that?
Full commentary as well.
Commentary, I don't know. I can't.
Unbiased. Oh, I hate Joe Linton.
There's not a chance. There's not a chance I could do unbiased commentary. But I do unbiased opinions, but not commentary. I couldn't commentate a Liverpool game. I couldn't. There's too much emotion going on. It'd be like Banzone.
I heard Isak's going to be there on Monday.
Yeah, he's in the away end.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the one that's going to hold the banner up saying free ISAK.
That good. We can hear them crying in the tune.
Yeah,
Alexander.
if it's starting them off. But yeah, what do you think about obviously today's happenings? Chelsea beating West Ham last night, Arsenal winning 5-0 earlier on, City losing again. I'm not gonna go crazy over the City score because Tottenham usually get it. I said that last night. I said I think City will beat them. I predicted a win for City, but I said Tottenham are their Belgian team. So it's not massive. It's not like, oh, that's it, City are out the title now.
No,
Tottenham beat them.
I think it's too early to read in. It's only game 2. I always kind of break them, see where you're at after that, and then so forth. But I do think at the same time there are issues there with City. We know Tottenham's a bogey team, but we're transitioning quite a few first team. They're doing the same. But I think defensively they're quite weak. He's being sold. They've got Trafford. I'm not saying Trafford's not a good goalie, but he's not at the level of Edison. So that's definitely kind of what I saw. It looked like how do I pronounce his name? The one they bought from Lyon?
Cherky.
Yeah, Cherky. He didn't look like he had the greatest game. Him and Mamouche didn't look like they can. It looked like it didn't work with them two and Haaland, all three of them playing. And then obviously Foden came on. And then even if you look at it, I think he brought Rodri on. And last time I checked, Rodri's meant to be out for the first few weeks of the season. So he brought him on and he's not even fit.
Like a desperation thing on it.
Yeah. It kind of looked, and that's kind of a little, if I was a Man City fan, that's a bit worrying early on. We know Pep does tend to, early on, you're bringing on someone who's not that the rest of the team wasn't performing how they were supposed to perform. Just looked like Tottenham athletic, more kind of willing across like the pitch. Man City had their moments in the first half, but Tottenham kind of soaked up the pressure well. And I was saying this when I was watching it with my dad anyway, that because Frank's the manager, I said this before as well. He's a very good man. A few players, obviously they missed out on Eze. I think Eze would have been better at Tottenham, but it is what it is. We'll see how he does at Arsenal if Arteta uses him correctly. But with Frank, he's used to, like, he plays a good style of football. He's quite pragmatic. When he plays a better team, he kind of sets his team up to be difficult to break down. So which is what happened with Tottenham. I think at home against teams he thinks he'll be more open and more attacking. But if you look, there's I haven't even heard of off the bench. So he's that type of guy where he's not just gonna be. You see when they had Ange Postecoglou, he was moaning that he didn't get back. He kind of just wants to buy a whole team. You're not gonna get a whole team at Spurs. This is leaving.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a few players, but you're gonna have to coach and work with players. And I think that's what he's gonna do with Tottenham. Tottenham. I said this before as well. They beat Wolves. Obviously, they looked really good, but they played against a team who didn't want to win. They played against a team who didn't land the punch. They were kind of constantly punching them in the face, and they didn't punch them. They played a team that punched them back, and look what happened. There or thereabouts. But I don't look at City as our biggest challenges. I look at they'll be there or thereabouts, but I look at potentially even Chelsea. I know obviously they might be up and down as well because they drew against Palace. And obviously the game against West Ham, they were good, but I just think if anything, West Ham were more poor than what Chelsea were in terms of Chelsea being great. They scored a few set piece goals, but I wasn't that impressed. I just think West Ham look really bad. They look like they might be like relegation.
Yeah, they're really struggling.
You can say the same. You can say the same for Arsenal, though. Arsenal, when I watched the game, Arsenal, they didn't look great. It just took that one weapon that they have, which is the corner
set piece.
Yeah. And that changed everything. And obviously, when you're playing a team like Leeds that don't even believe that they are at the level of other clubs in the Premier League because they're newly promoted, once that goal goes in, they're just going to go back to feeling, this is it. We're going to have to defend here. And then it's goal after goal after goal. So I don't know. I feel like, anyway, when they come to Anfield, we'll see. But I feel like when they play a better opposition, top 10, the Arsenal are going to struggle as well. But we have to do our job.
Exactly.
We do our job.
I think personally, Arsenal are very underlooked. I think it's because it's Arsenal, though. If I'm honest, I think defensive they're astounding. Defensive. I know Man United played well last week against them, and they were probably the better team. But like I said, they kept them out. They've got a very good keeper. They've got a strong back four. They've got a strong midfield in terms of defensively as well. I think they're very hard to beat. And now they have got a Gyökeres, who is a pure goal scorer. I can't believe people doubt this guy because, yes, he's going to have bad games. He's not the best of players, but he's a fucking goal scorer. And that's what they really needed, number 9 that could score goals. Now they've got Eze as well. That changes the game because they're not relying on Martinelli. They're not, if Odegaard has stinkers, which he had last season, they're not relying on him. Eze is a game changer.
I think he's a game changer, Dane, but you got to bear in mind Arteta has his favourites. So even though they've got a really balanced squad, with him, he's got his favourites, and he's got his favourites, and they ain't won nothing yet. So I still see it as someone like a Martinelli. Martinelli's going to be playing more than Eze when Eze.
No chance.
He's one of his,
chance. Martinelli
let
plays more
me
than
finish.
Eze.
Let me finish. He's one of his favourites. They had an opportunity to sell Martinelli. He wanted to keep him. Why? He's been pants for the past 2 or 3 years. He's one of his favourites. Who's another one that's one of his
ain't
favourites?
got anyone else to play over. Now he's got someone to play over him. I guarantee you that.
He's got someone there, Madueke. Madueke started today, but I still think Madueke and what's his name? Madueke and
that's not the same level as Eze.
I know it's not the same level, but he still bought Madueke. He still bought Madueke before Eze. So you got a deep how he's looking at it.
I don't even think Eze is all that. I think
get it. The problem is I don't think he's going to get used correctly because Odegaard's one of his favorites. Odegaard's ahead of him. Odegaard only really came off today because he was injured, and then also you got to remember you got Wanyeri. He's another talent. For me, he goes down.
He's a bad man.
He goes down the pecking order now as well because Eze's been bought. So they got they got quite a balanced team there, but you got to look at the question is for me, Arteta, when the game's really where you need to kind of take a risk or you need to go for the game, is he going to take that risk? He's not. He always plays with the handbrake on. He'll rather take a point if that means him not losing the game. So like today, the game looked kind of boring, and then Arsenal got that goal and it kind of opened the game. Once it went 2-0, I stopped watching it because I was like, yeah, the game's done. But
same.
I do agree, Dame. Their team's very balanced, but you got to remember the manager you're dealing with. You're dealing with a manager who's got his favorites. Similar to
I don't think he has his favorites though.
He does, man. But similar to what Klopp had.
He hadn't had the options to.
He's always had.
He didn't have any squad
he's always had the options. He chose to only get a striker right now. They needed a striker years ago.
No, he wanted a striker last January. He called the board out and they didn't back him.
But before then, what did he do? You got Havertz, and because the Havertz didn't work, you went and put him up front. So you got to bear these things in mind. He likes birds with broken wings. He likes something that he can fix. That's why he bought a Madueke. Meaty player, but for whatever reason, he's bought him. He thinks he can do something with him. Where you didn't need him. You didn't need Havertz either. And he's not really in a position to say to the board, I need this. Do you know how much money he spent since he's been at Arsenal? Over $1 billion. So it's not like he hasn't been backed. He's been backed. It's just a question of when is he going to pick the right players, the right lineup when it comes against certain teams? Is he always going to go for his favorites? And when the pressure's on, you're going to see when Eze should be playing instead of Odegaard, it's going to be Odegaard. Playing instead of what's his name, Martinelli, it's going to be Martinelli, or it's going to be Madueke. So
wait till Niles comes back as well. I can assure you now, Eze plays more than Martinelli this season.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
No, I agree. I think Martinelli will play more than Eze. I don't even think. Well, that's because I don't rate Eze as much. Anyway, but
go on.
Martinelli, just from the fact that when I saw that he didn't let Martinelli go. When I saw that, I said, this guy, he loves Martinelli, bro. It makes no sense to me why you didn't let Martinelli go. And Martinelli,
but then again, doesn't he want 2 players in each position as well? Like a bit like what Slott's doing.
Yeah, but what caliber?
If let's Martinelli go without getting
the quality, though. The quality.
If you let him go, then they could have got Rodrigo. But you're there faffing about. Like, why are you keeping Martinelli?
I don't think Rodrigo's available if Real Madrid want him.
Real Madrid don't want him.
They don't want him.
But I think there's reports now that they possibly do want him.
What?
That's why no one's really got in for Rodrigo.
That's
properly
cut, bro. They don't want him,
They-
man. If
they-
you see
they-
when
they-
Florentino wants someone to go, yeah, they're gone.
They froze him
He's-
out. He's not even getting any minutes, Dane. That's why his agent keeps trying to link him to any other club or trying to get in contact with Liverpool or Arsenal and this and that. He's not getting minutes. He's not even going to get no game to rate him.
Facts.
But you just got to deep it
I'd
in
be
your head.
interested to see what happens to Rodrigo, though.
I think Berta wanted to get rid of Ellie, but I think behind the scenes, I'll tell. And then even if you look at that, Trossard, they should already moved him on. You've given him a new contract and a pay rise based off what? What did he do to earn that? This is what I'm trying to say. He does weird stuff, Arteta. Kind of like praising and promoting guys, and they haven't really done anything. And him like 2 seasons ago or a year ago, he didn't really. But if anything, he's been underwhelming. But yeah, I still look at them as one of our biggest threats. But I just think Arteta will be the Achilles heel when it comes to Arsenal. Which is on, he crumbles. You saw it last year when they played PSG. You should have really went for the game a bit more. But you kept relying on Saka. Obviously, it's about if you use him correctly. For me, if I'm the manager of Arsenal, I put him in the 10. Odegaard goes to the bench. But a lot of men are not going to want to hear that. They're going to say, he's the captain. You can't. No. He goes. For me, he goes on the bench.
Yeah.
You still play Martinelli or left?
Left, I'm not sure. If Odegaard or 1 second.
Naji back. Is Naj back? One's gone, one's still. One's standing around.
I really hope we play Leone. I just got a feeling this guy plays and never looks back after this game.
What is it?
Yeah, sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in Tesco.
It's so random. So yeah, this is live streaming from Tesco. Do it. Turn your phone around. Ask someone in Tesco what their thoughts are on this game on Monday. And also, actually, Naj, who do you think is going to play more this season, Eze or Martinelli? Naj.
Eze.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And yeah, if you do want to ask your people at the till who they think is going to win on Monday, let them know that. But yeah, guys, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Make sure you do join us tomorrow for our match preview and things coming out in the day tomorrow as well. So make sure you join us for that. And also at night time for the match preview for Monday as well. And Monday is our first watch along on Talking Reds. So make sure you get across to Talking Reds on Monday. Watch our first watch along of the season. And what a watch along it's going to be Newcastle against Liverpool on Monday night. So the watch along will start about 7:45. The game starts about 8 o'clock as well. So make sure you do get across for us to watch that. And thank you for watching tonight. Make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new for all your latest Liverpool news, transfer news, and Liverpool content in general. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll speak to you all tomorrow.